What is good, YouTube? This your boy Aaron,
It's Brian.
and this is the Courtside View Podcast, and we are back today reacting to Week 4 of the NFL. And my God, damn, so much news we got to get to. Earlier in the
Indeed.
day, Devontae Adams. We're gonna get to that real quick, but I gotta say one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bad Sunday and Monday.
Mm.
I lost some money. I lost my fantasy matchup.
Oh.
And my team lost. Just 3 in a row.
At
Just
least you got the bonus win.
Yeah, I got the bonus win. That's what happens when you do points. So, hey, the new format actually works. But man, it hurt when I lost that money. You know how when you do a parlay and you're so confident it's going to hit, but then all of a sudden you realize that the one thing that you bet on the parlay, it was a 7. I think it was 7 things that I bet in the parlay. Matter of fact, I did 2 parlays. Each one of them was around 7 or 8. I bet the Jared Goff under on passing yards, 249. And this man, Jared Goff, turns around and has one of the best QB performances in the regular season. You can't make this up, man. I'm like, okay, Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams is out. I'm like, all right, cool. So they're going to establish the run. He's going to be more game manager-esque. It's going to be high scoring, but I don't think Jared Goff is going to be throwing the ball like that. This man, Jameson Williams, no safety help. Touchdown for like 70 yards. I'm like, come on, bro. It's just stuff like that where I can't do anything about it. I can't do anything about it. And literally everything was going good. Everything was going well except the Jared Goff passing yards. And then another thing was the Jahmyr Gibbs. I bet his receptions and receiving yards. He ain't getting out one reception. He ain't getting out one receiving yard. That was just for one of the parlays. But I could have still won money if Jared Goff didn't turn into freaking Tom Brady. Had one of the greatest regular season quarterback performances we've ever seen. Going 18 for 18. I just got to put my hands in the air. There's nothing I could do. I can't win. I did all this research and I can't win. And by the way, there's a lot of people that are praying for my downfall. Like a lot of folks just be hating on me in fantasy. They see me lose, and it's a party. They see me lose and they celebrate. That's how I know it really stung when I won the championship last year. Because boy, oh boy, they are celebrating. But I got something for y'all, man. I got something for y'all. This happened last year. I started off slow. People was like, "Oh, Aaron, you got to make a trade. You got to do this. You got to do that." And all of a sudden, I went on a run. Okay, I see what's going on. Y'all keep underrating me. Y'all keep doing that. I love being an underdog because I don't have all this expectations on my shoulders. And when I do win, it's just gonna be far more sweeter when I win because they didn't expect it. They keep underestimating me, Brian. They keep doing that. I love it. They still think I don't know ball. They still think I don't know this, I don't know that. But little do they know, I've been studying. I've been studying. I know this stuff. I know how this is going to go. I expected my team to start off slow. I knew this was going to happen. I'm still in the thick of things. I'm 4-4. Is it the best? No, but I'm still there. They acting like I'm like 2-4 or 1-5. Like, no, I'm still here. One great week and I'm back. Man, this waiver wire. Don't let me get the players that I want off the waiver wire. Don't let any of you people give me, man. If I get the players that I want off the waiver wire, it's over. It's a wrap. I will say the tight end position is my Achilles heel.
Who you telling?
But that's for like the majority of us. So I'm not even tripping. Like, at least I didn't draft Mark Andrews early in the draft. You know what I mean? I'd rather be still searching for a tight end in the waiver wire than regret drafting Mark Andrews. But anywho, that'll do it for the introduction. I want to start it off with the big news of the day, and that is Davante Adams requesting a trade. It was inevitable. We all saw it coming from a mile away. It was just about when was it going to happen? Because Davante Adams, he wants to win at the end of the day. And a lot of folks before the season were projecting that eventually he was going to demand a trade, request a trade. And now we're finally at that point. First of all, Brian, what was your reaction to the trade? And where do you think Davante Adams is going to get traded, if he does get traded?
That's a good question. Davante Adams trade, I'm honestly not surprised at all. I mean, the writing was on the wall as far as early as last season. I thought he would have got traded in the offseason, personally, especially with the QB situation going on. You got backups starting and trying to lead the team to win. It's just not an ideal scenario for a guy like Davante Adams. And ever since he got to the Raiders, his production honestly has dropped. So, receivers, no matter how much of a team player, they like to get the ball. So he's not getting the ball. So I guess he feels like his talent is being wasted. He'd rather play for a team that'll give him the targets he need. So I mean, I'm not surprised at all. As far as what team I think he'll go to, honestly, it's hard to say any team that's outside of the NFC. I doubt the Raiders want to trade him within the same conference. But there's a few teams that people saying the Commanders. I don't really see it for them, especially after what he said about Commanders fans in the off season, or however many years ago that was.
It was an off season. You're right.
I could possibly the Saints, maybe, because Derek Carr's his guy. I don't know.
I hope not.
Yeah, me too. Let me think. Obviously, the Cowboys need receiver help, but do I think Jerry Jones would make a trade? Absolutely not. I'm not even going to waste my time entertaining that idea. That cheap old man ain't paying for nothing. And then let me try to think of any other teams that makes sense.
The Jets.
The Jets is actually one of the teams that reports have said that he's interested in playing for. But will the Raiders send him to the Jets? I mean, if the trade package is good, I guess so. I mean, it's not that the Jets are like world beaters or anything. That pick could turn out to be pretty decent, depending on how the Jets' trajectory is right now. It's a little shaky over there. But yeah, pretty much, I'm thinking Jets or Saints or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think they're not trading them to the Chiefs. Chiefs fans just throw that idea out your mind. It's not happening.
Yeah. They the ops. No way.
Exactly.
No way they're gonna trade them to the Chiefs. That would be crazy. Be out of your damn mind.
Yeah.
I think so. What I'm hearing is they want.
What about the Steelers?
The Steelers would be interesting. That would be cool. That would be an interesting idea. That is definitely a wild card. That is definitely a team I didn't hear from yet. My thing is that with the Steelers, they traded away Deontay Johnson. I don't know why. Maybe was it because he's a headache or whatever, or were they trying to save money?
Probably money issue.
That would be a good idea. That would be cool to see him on Steelers. Justin Fields having a talent like Davante Adams. Oh my God. Oh, we're gonna get to Justin Fields a little bit later. I think Washington could be in play for sure. I would love to see him with Washington. And
I wouldn't. Why,
of course you wouldn't. But I think that's a realistic possibility depending on how the season continues to go for them. Let's say the Commanders are 6-3. Let's say the Commanders are like 5-4. You don't think they're not going to try to get Devontae Adams? I do, because I believe they probably are in this idea that, hey, if we add Devontae Adams, that'll increase our chances of making the playoffs. I think it would be a great idea for them to trade for Devontae Adams. You have Jaden Daniels on a rookie year deal. This is the perfect opportunity to capitalize on the rookie contract. And who better than one of the better receivers in the NFL? Albeit he's 31, but his contract still got what is it, like two more years left until the guaranteed money is pretty much gone with. And Devontae Adams, he's not one of those guys that's going to get hurt a lot. Albeit he is 31. I believe he's like Mike Evans, is that those dudes, for whatever reason, they just avoid significant injuries. I like Devontae Adams with Jaden Daniels, because Jaden Daniels just continues to get better week by week. Like, now, him and Terry McLaurin have finally figured things out. They have
My
like a good
fantasy investment has paid off. I've been
yeah.
waiting weeks for this.
Yeah, they finally have a connection, which is great. Luke McCaffrey has been getting the ball as well. This offense has just been dynamic, and just adding Devontae Adams to that would make them damn near unstoppable. It would just make the whole Commanders offense even more electric. So I would love him on the Commanders. But yeah, I just can't think of another team that he would perfectly fit besides what you said, the Saints. I don't want him on the Saints. That just looks ugly. Like, ugh. Him and Derek Carr again. We already saw that experiment. We don't want to see that again. I would love him. I would love the two teams, the Jets and the Commanders. I would love for Devontae Adams to be on those two teams. Stay away from the 49ers. Do not trade him to the 49ers.
Oh my
Do not trade him to
goodness.
the Cowboys. Do not trade him to any
Whoa,
teams
whoa,
that
whoa,
I
whoa, whoa,
dislike.
whoa, yo. Let's slow your roll on that second team there. Let's slow your
No,
roll
no,
right
no, no,
there.
no, 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 no. You heard me. Don't trade him to the Cowboys. We don't want him to be subjected to that stench. You guys already have your own drama. You can't even pay Micah Parsons right now. You were having trouble trying to pay Dak. He don't want them problems. But yeah, those two teams that I just mentioned, I like Devontae Adams on those two teams. Uh, yeah, let's transition. I want to talk about I want to give your opinion on this. Who do you think is the best team in football through 4 weeks of the NFL season so far?
Whew. I mean, it's hard not to say the Vikings still. I mean, yes, it got hairy for them in that Green Bay game, which I foolishly picked them, but it got close towards the end. I ain't too mad about it. But you look at the level of competition they played. They played like three playoff teams, and they beat all four of them. So I mean, it's hard not to say the Vikings. The Chiefs are undefeated as well, but their wins haven't been as impressive,
Impressive.
let's say. And now they're dealing with receiver injury. Uh, Pacheco is out. And, I think you're wondering if things just want to start unraveling for them later on down in the year. But as far as right now, the Vikings been playing good football. The defense, Jordan Love. It took Jordan Love a minute to figure out the defense and really get into his groove on offense. But the Vikings still was able to hold on, and they're getting Josh Jefferson involved again. Addison was getting involved. The run game was looking good. The defense was started off strong, got it kind of trailed off towards the end. But it's a divisional game; anything could really happen. So I'm gonna still say the Vikings, man. I'm still impressed with them.
I agree with you on that front. I'm going to go with the Vikings too. I just think from top to bottom, they have been phenomenal. What they did against the Packers was downright just dominant from the first half. Now, second half, they're trying to keep the lead. They're being more reserved. Sam Darnold's turning the ball over. They're giving up a lot of points. But for the most part, they did their thing. They made it uncomfortable for Jordan Love, and they got out there. They got out of Lambeau Field with a victory, which is not easy to do, especially a division game. So I got to give it to the Vikings. 4-0. They've been dominant in every game. Their defense has been phenomenal. They've been turning the ball over. They've been getting sacks. I didn't think their defense was going to be this good. I thought the talent level wasn't going to be as great, but hey, Brian Flores, he's scheming stuff up. You guys are buying in. Byron Murphy has been nothing but phenomenal for him, and yeah, this defense has been great. In offense, Sam Darnold, he just looks so good. He looks so comfortable in that system. And the coaching, man, again, I'm screaming to everybody: coaching matters.
Yep.
You can't expect the QB to excel and develop without good coaching. And Sam Darnold, he's been through hell. His ever since he's been in the league, and now he looks like one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. You could argue he's in MVP discussion right now. So congratulations to the Vikings. Y'all are my worst ops, one of my worst ops, but you got to give credit where it's due. You handle your business, but I will warn you that we'll see you week 16. We'll see you in
Mm.
Minnesota. Don't let your guard down. Don't start feeling yourself. Week 16 is a long way away. I'm telling you this right
Mm.
now. It's a long season. Things can change. Y'all caught us. Y'all caught us when we were missing our two starting corners. Jordan Love was coming back from an injury, so he was a bit rusty. You caught us lacking. You caught us lacking when we weren't on our best. All right, we're gonna see how it goes week 16. You're gonna probably get TJ Hawkinson back, so that's gonna help your offense. But we're gonna see what's gonna happen because you caught us early. You caught us early. Week 4. You caught us early. I give you that. I give you credit. Um,
How do you feel about Jordan Love's performance first game back?
so here's the thing. So when I was watching the game, one thing that I truly appreciate about NFL broadcasters, commentators, is that some of the commentators, like, they'll point out certain things that us as like regular fans don't notice. And it's like the way that Jordan Love was planting his feet as he was delivering the football, he was still trying to compensate with the knee injury. Like, he wasn't fully comfortable. Like, he's healthy, don't get me wrong, he's healthy, but he still has to trust that that he can do what he normally does after the injury. So that's why we saw like him very rusty. His passes were sailing a bit low. It's because he was rusty and he still didn't trust the knee yet. But then by the time we get to the second half and he's starting to get more touchdowns, he's starting to get a groove, and that's when he starts to become the old Jordan Love. So for me, I think Jordan Love, this was a game that he was rusty. He is coming back from an injury, coming back from a knee injury, and his passes weren't the best. His decision making wasn't the best. He was definitely playing like Brett Favre wearing that damn jersey before the game. Um, there's multiple reasons that I didn't like. I didn't like Jordan Love wearing that jersey. Um, one for football reasons. The other one is not for football reasons. Y'all can go search it up yourself. But yeah, it was I just some of the things he did just made no sense. Like, again, when he threw that interception towards the end of the game, I just couldn't understand it. Like, I think it was Tucker Craft was wide open. Just throw it to Tucker Craft. Don't try to go for the home run play. I think he was going for Wicks and it got picked off. Like, don't like what are you doing? Like, you're smarter than that. You can't do that. So it's just a rust factor. He needs to be careful and try to limit the turnovers because he's been turning the ball over. I think the Eagles game turned the ball over, and then this game threw 3 interceptions, which is a no go. Here's my thing with this game. As a Packers fan, after the game, I was disappointed we lost, but at the same time, it wasn't one of those losses that really stung. Like,
Mm.
it didn't really like punch me in the gut. You know what I'm saying? It was more of those. I hate to say moral victories because I'm not a big moral victory guy, but it was one of those things where I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, it was a lot of self-inflicted wounds, interceptions, the fumble by Tucker Craft,
Yep.
false starts, missing our two starting corners. Like, if we just take care of the things that we can control, which is turnovers, fumbles, interceptions, I think we have a great chance. And the second half, our defense, I think we held the Vikings scoreless up until the very end. Like, our defense was that dominant. So what I can say about the game against the Vikings is that we have heart and that we not gonna just shy away because we're down in the game. That lets me know the mentality of the team. That lets me know the mentality of the coach that even if we're down big, we still believe that we can win the game. And that's a good thing. That just lets me know that we're a mentally tough team and that brighter things are to come because of that. I'm not
Mm,
concerned with the Packers, and I believe when we play the Vikings again on the road, it's going to be a different story in week 16. So,
okay.
and I'll say this about the Vikings. Hey, don't get exposed now. I know the defense has been great, but Jordan Love and them Packers, he was dialing you guys up that second half. Don't hey, don't make it to where we showed the blueprint of how to beat that defense. You know what I mean? Like that's just how I feel about the whole thing. But shout out to the Vikings again. They did their thing. And the Packers, hey, handle your business this next 4 weeks. We got a pretty lenient schedule. We're playing the Rams next that are pretty much injured. They don't have the top two wide receivers, so we gotta handle our business because that should be a game we should win. I wanna transition. I want to go to some other games around the division. Just briefly talk about all the teams and their games around the division. Let's go. Might as well go to your team. Let's go to the Cowboys real quick. I mean, good God, y'all.
We
This
are
is a Thursday
cooked.
night game. Yeah. So, like, briefly. Matter of fact, did we talk? I think we already talked
We
about your
talked
team.
about we talked about
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
But,
Thursday game,
but we can
but
talk about
there's some injury
injuries.
developments and stuff. Yeah.
Micah Parsons and Demarcus Lawrence. Oh my God. Just your thoughts.
The D-Law injury is unfortunate because he was our best run defender. But when I tell you in the past game he was pretty much non-existent this year, I'm not lying to you. There's numbers and stats to back it up. Against the Giants, usually Demarcus Lawrence goes crazy against the Giants. He had a 0% win rate in that
Mm,
game. That's just horrible. And Micah is obviously the more significant missing from the defense because he's the best defensive player we have. But he's not projected to be out for as long as like Demarcus Lawrence. They said 4 to 8 weeks or so. With the Liz Frank injury, he's kind of old, so I'm expecting closer to 8 weeks than the 4. But Micah could be back within 2 weeks or so. Not sure. It depends how he heals. But yeah, man, I'm kind of at this point. It is what it is. I mean, Jerry gonna have to do his job and go out and try to acquire some talent. I know he don't like spending money and giving up picks. But if you want your team to compete and you don't want the fans to check out, you're gonna have to make some shake because at this rate, the sentiment is probably the lowest I've ever seen from the fan base. And people are looking at college, they're like, this Ashton Janty kid, they trying to tank for him. I'm like, oh man. So Jerry, you're gonna have to do something. You're gonna have to go out and make a trade, do something because the fans ready to punt the season. And I mean, I'm honestly I can't blame him. I'm on the train with him. I said, man, forget this season. I'll bring Ashton JT in a draft on board, and then we could talk. That's where I'm at with it. Let's
tanking
use this
for a
year to
running back.
develop that offensive lineman, the rookie lineman, and everything. The defense is already cooked, in my opinion. It is what it is.
Mm. So tanking for an offensive lineman. I mean, excuse me, a running back. In 2024. Wow,
Listen, 4
it's come
games
down to
in,
this.
and he has 800 yards. He's generational.
No, he's nice. He's nice. But I mean, I've seen really good running backs in college. I'm just saying. Melvin Gordon, Melvin Gordon had over 2,000 yards one year. I remember he was like that. I think he was in Wisconsin. He was like that. So don't just he's
Them
a nice
injuries
running
kind of
back.
cooked him though.
Yeah. But he's a nice running back, but you
At
can
this
always find a
point,
good running back in the
I
second
mean, think
round.
about it though. It's either we draft a mediocre D lineman, maybe a wide receiver, or JT. I honestly give me the best player available. Because this draft
Okay.
class so far, the experts in them, they're saying it's maybe 10 first round, true first round grades in this draft.
Yeah. All right. Well, guess it's a sad day in Dallas. Very pessimistic. I haven't seen Dallas fans this down bad since when I remember what was it? I think Dak went down with an injury and y'all were pretty much stuck with who's y'all
Andy
quarterbacks? I think it
Dalton.
was 20 Andy Dalton. Yeah, Andy Dalton. Yeah, that's going back to those days, except you have
It's
Dak and
funny.
CD.
This season is reminiscent of 2020 so much because, of course, the Commanders they want to lead the division, and Jalen Hurts was playing like garbage. And that year, he's playing well. He's not. He's severely
He's
underperforming. I'll say that. And now the Cowboys look cooked. So this is just like the thing running back the 2020 script. You can't fool me, Roger Goodell. I'm on to you, and don't worry, I will have the last laugh.
mm, mm. Okay. All right. I think that'll do it for Cowboys coverage. I want to talk about just speaking about the NFC East. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Let me tell you something. We tried to tell y'all, man. We tried to tell y'all that Jaden Daniels is the real deal. Now, I didn't say 3-1, but I said that if you're going to draft a QB that's ready to start, ready to play right away, that fits Cliff Kingsbury's system, it's Jaden Daniels. It's not Drake
You
May.
did say that.
It's Jaden Daniels. And what he's doing right now is downright phenomenal. What they did against the Cardinals, I didn't see that coming. What they scored 35 points? My God, they
I
were
think
dominant.
they scored 40 something.
42,
Yeah.
42. Bruh. Terry McLaurin was getting it going. Brian Robinson was getting it going. Everybody was getting it going. Zach Ertz was getting it
Yeah.
going. Luke McCaffrey. I'm looking at all these dudes. I'm like, they can play. They can really play. Like Cliff Kingsbury is dialing up great passing concepts that work. He's getting guys open. Guys are catching the football. Zach Ertz rejuvenated his career. We thought he was done. We thought he was cooked food. He still looked good to me. Luke
Mm,
McCaffrey, people was questioning that pick. He looks good to me so far. So many things are going right. Remember your boy Noah Brown,
mm.
your boy. He looked really good. He was a good addition. It's just so much good stuff going on with the Commanders right now. The offensive line is playing better than I expected.
Yeah.
It's just so much good
It's a
things are happening
night
with
and
the
day
Commanders.
team compared to last year for sure. And it's all in all, when you get your QB and you have a plan for him and a vision of how you want this offense to look like, this is what happened. And I mean, Cliff Kingsbury is putting his QB in the best position to succeed. I mean, some people will try to say what Jaden is doing isn't very impressive or anything, but I mean, hey, results is results at the end of the day. Whether it looks flashy or whatever, he's still getting the job done. So I mean, you can't blame him for doing what he's asked to do. The offense is very efficient. They punted one time that game, and then before that game, I think they haven't punted in like 9 quarters or something like that. So obviously something is working. And I'm not about to, everybody wants to has their preconceived notion about Cliff Kingsbury because how it went down in Arizona and everything. But maybe, I mean, he was kind of just like thrown into a head coaching position. I mean, a offensive coordinator is a completely different role, and not everybody's built to be a coach. But he could, hey, he all he has to worry about is his offensive unit guys and drawing up plays and making sure the game plan. He could probably say, hey, I'll take this. This is way easier than trying to manage 52 guys. So I mean, maybe Cliff Kingsbury needs to be offensive coordinator going forward. I mean, it's doing wonders for them. Granted, they haven't played the greatest defenses in the league, but these are still professional athletes at the end of the day. 42 points is very good. Even the Bills didn't put up 42 on a Cardinal. So you can't do nothing but salute it. I hate to see it because I'm a Cowboys fan, but yeah, man, it is what it. And the funny thing, I like Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin and them. I just hate the team they play for.
Yeah, it's always like that. It's always you like the player, but you don't like the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just they just been good. That defense is trash. Boy, that offense is electric.
Dan Quinn, boy. Whew. That is something.
Hey, defense played good. Defense played good
Yeah,
against the
they
Cardinals.
played better. Yeah, they played better.
Part of that's because the Cardinals offensive coordinator don't be his play calling is a little suspect. I gotta say this about the offensive coordinator for the Cardinals. First of all, you fire Cliff Kingsbury, you scapegoat him saying, hey, the offense is not gelling right. You're making Kyler Murray look bad. Okay, you bring in an offensive coordinator. You bring in a new offensive coordinator for Kyler Murray. You bring in a new head coach. And what happens? The passing concepts look very predictable. Marvin Harrison Jr., he's not getting the ball a whole lot. I'm confused. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the Cowboys with CeeDee Lamb last year, the first part of the season, when for whatever reason, the Cowboys weren't giving the ball to CeeDee Lamb. I'm like, yo, give the ball to your best player. And Marvin Harrison Jr., for whatever reason, they're just like, hey, we're going to put you on the left side of the field and just go to work. Like, no, sometimes talent can't always be successful. Sometimes you got to help a brother out. Sometimes you got to put the brother in position to succeed. Put him in motion. Put him in the slot. Call some jet sweeps. Wide receiver screens. Do something. Like, don't just be like, hey, just run a slant, run a go, run a comeback. Like, damn, can we mix it up a little bit? Can we do something? Because right now it's not working. Like, how does Marvin Harrison Jr. he'll have a great drive and then disappear for the rest of the game? How is that possible? That is just the OC not
especially
doing
against them
their job.
corners.
Come on, against the Commanders.
It's just unfortunate. Like a lot of you look around the league, it's a lot of offensive play calls that just don't understand the concept of scheming the guys open. Like that's a real thing. We see all these other teams do it. Like if the Vikings offense can function at this high of a efficiency with someone who people deemed as a draft bust, what's everybody else excuses? I mean, seriously, the Vikings don't got the greatest personnel in the world. Outside of Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison was hurt the first 3 weeks. Most people can't even name who they had as the number 2 receiver out there. But guess what? They was able to score. They was able to run the ball. They was able to do creative concepts in the pass game. These other coordinators, they just haven't caught on yet, and it's really blowing my mind. That's what kills me with Mike McCarthy because I feel like he knows, he just refuses to do it, and it just blows my mind. Like the formula is out there. This is supposed to be a copycat league, yet there's so many offensive coordinators doing the same old crap that just doesn't work. And it's just mind-boggling to me.
Nathaniel Hackett, Shane Waldron, Press Taylor, the offensive coordinator for the Cardinals, they're just brain dead. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but if you have a talented receiver, why the hell wouldn't you try to do everything you can to give them the ball? If you have a talented running back, why wouldn't you try to do everything you can to give them the ball? That's how you're going to win games. They're on the field for a reason because they're talented and their talent can help you win games. For you to not do the most to try to get them involved, scheme something up to help them, it's just downright malpractice. Like it frustrates me. It gets my blood boiling seeing that stuff because I know how good the players are. I know how good a DJ Moore is. I know how good a Marvin Harrison Jr. is. I know how good a Breece Hall is. I know how good a Garrett Wilson is. And yet, these offensive coordinators keep locking these dudes. They keep handicapping them because for whatever reason, oh, this is my scheme, this is my system. We're gonna do it this way, and I don't care if he's the number one receiver. I don't care if he's the number one running back. This is the scheme. We're gonna run it, and that's that. Like, no, you got to get your players involved. That's how you win. Get your best players involved. And if you don't do that, then guess what? You're gonna lose to the Broncos. You're gonna lose to the Commanders. That's just the way it is. Like, you have to get your best players involved. If not, then you might as well be coaching high school. Why are you
Mm.
coaching in the NFL? That's just me, man. That's just me. It's just frustrating. Like, I see Matt LaFleur, he dialing up plays, getting my boy Jaden Reed the ball. You know what I'm like? It's just like, come on, man. It shouldn't be this hard. It's not rocket
It
science. Like,
feels like
y'all,
it feels like these coordinators try to manufacture equal opportunities when equal opportunities will come with just better play calling. Like eventually, if this dude is going off, okay, defense start focus on this dude. Then offense opens up for everybody. I just don't.
exactly.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a football
Exactly.
coach or nothing, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Is teams doing good on offense, and is teams that's not doing good on offense. You tell me.
And it's weird because I know I can't think of like just how many times I've seen just offensive coordinators not do their job of scheming the best players open. Like this was not. I don't remember this ever being a case. I remember 10 years ago, you have a Larry Fitzgerald, you have an Andre Johnson, you have a Calvin Johnson, you have a DeAndre Hopkins, you have an Antonio Brown. Like, you have
Julio
all these
Jones.
receivers, Julio, like, you have all these great receivers. What they give them the ball. They make sure that they eat, that they feed them. Nowadays, it's like, nah, this is my system. We're just gonna run this system, and that's that. And whoever is open is whoever is open. Like, bro, you gotta, bro. They get paid a lot of money for a reason. They get double teamed a lot for a reason. It's because they're a threat on the football field. But some of these coordinators, they just don't see it that way. They just don't. They just egos gets to their head. I want to yeah, we are Eagles. We can talk about the Eagles a little bit. Eagles, oh man. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't really watch a whole lot of this game. I watched a little bit of it. Saquon Barkley, I saw the run where he broke for, I think, a touchdown or something like that. It was a long run.
Hmm.
But for the most part, it was just awful. Like, I picked the Buccaneers to win. We
Yep.
we saw the injury report with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. So it was inevitable. This team it's just ugly. The Eagles, they might win this division by default because of just how bad it is. But yeah, this team is just ugly. It's awful. It just seems like there's no rhythm on offense. Jalen Hurts and the head coach, they're butting heads. There's nothing good about this team. Nothing except Saquon Barkley. And everybody else is just left there on an island by themselves. It doesn't seem like a team. It just seems like a bunch of individuals
Mm.
wearing a team logo. And right now, they haven't been the same since 2022. They seem like a shell of themselves. This reminds me of so crazy how, like, things just come back around. This is literally what transpired, like, after the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017. Like, the next
Yeah.
year, the year after, drama. Like, Doug Peterson, that whole thing with Carson Wentz, they were butting heads. What happens? Oh my God. They hire Nick Sirianni, and after they go to the Super Bowl, now we find out, oh, Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni don't get along. What is going on in Philadelphia with the coach and the quarterback just continuously butting heads? It's just makes no sense to me. I don't get it.
Honestly, it could be a scenario where they were tolerating him this entire time. I mean, as you see, he is a head coach that has some very interesting antics and mannerisms on that sideline. like in that Super Bowl against the Chiefs, he's like trying to taunt them or something about like signaling, and then Jalen Hurts was like had it like why is your QB having to babysit you like that? And like in the game last year against the Chiefs when they beat him, and he was yelling at fans in the tunnel before going up, like go to the locker room, man. Like what are you doing? It's just like this dude is just. I just feel like this the whole player coach thing or whatever it's left him. It's the players probably aren't that fond of him anymore. This is always pure speculation, but I mean, look at the team. The team comes out flat. Like this is a big game, you know. You're coming off. They won last week, right, against the
Yeah,
Saints. That
they
was
beat the
yeah,
Saints. Yeah, that was a huge
yeah,
upset.
yeah, a huge upset against the Saints. You come out this flat. Your defense is getting killed. Vic Fangio, I ain't gonna lie, you might be on good dude alert. This is the second year in a row your defense has looked shreddable. And you was the too high guru. Now you the I don't even know what to say. Your defense has been getting smoked. And now we got players, Darius Slay going on a podcast with Micah after Micah was just getting into it with his teammate. I'm like, that's just a bad look. I mean, where's the leaders? Where's the once like it seems like once Jason Kelsey and Fletcher Cox retired, like the team just imploding because there is nothing resembling any form of brotherhood on that defense. It's just Bryce Huff is upset now because he's not producing. It's just like, man, it's looking bad. Injuries and all of that. Jalen Hurts isn't playing particularly well for his standards. He's doing a lot of the same mistakes that we saw earlier in his career. You know, turning the ball over. It looks maybe not seeing the field all too well. It's bad. It's bad. And apparently, I've seen some people who break down film. They said this isn't Kellen Moore's offense. They said the stuff that they're running is they never seen Kellen Moore do some stuff like this. So now we're starting to wonder: is this Nick calling the shots as what's being ran? That could also contribute to the problem. So yeah, it's just looking bad right now for him.
This is interesting. The Commanders win a
Mm-hmm.
division. All hell is going to break loose. If the Commanders win a division, I'm telling
People
you.
getting fired. I'll tell you what.
People,
If Commanders win the
everybody
division,
knows.
Nick getting fired, Mike getting fired, everybody getting fired.
Yup. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna say this. I tried to tell you. We knew this was gonna happen. But my boy Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
I
You
said
called it. You
when
called it.
his back is against the wall, when he is being doubted by a lot of people, he answers the call. That's what he did on Sunday Night Football against the Bills. I knew this Bills team wasn't that talented. I was like, man, Baltimore is not that bad. Baltimore,
Yeah.
at times they play with their food, but when they need to lock in, they lock in. And against that Bills team, they locked in. From opening jump, Derrick Henry had that long run. I
80
think it was
yard
the
TD.
longest. It was the
Saved my
longest
fantasy.
run.
He saved my fantasy that week. Oh my goodness.
It was the longest run in franchise history.
Mm.
Derrick Henry. So signing them was a huge success. I mean, the longest run in franchise history is Derrick Henry. It's ridiculous. But yeah, they were just dominant from top to end, defensively, offensively. Lamar Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
he was just sensational. He was just throwing dots, throwing dimes everywhere. There was one to Isaiah Likely, it was another one to Nelson Aguilar. Obviously, the one he threw in the end zone. He was just phenomenal. He was the dual threat that we've seen him be since college. He's just
Yeah.
that guy. He is a top 3 QB in the NFL. He's a 2-time MVP. So this is what he's gonna do when he's locked in, when everything is together. Yeah, they're like that. And Derrick Henry put him in the I formation and just let him cook. And that's what they've been doing. They made that adjustment. And Derrick Henry, he's running the ball very effectively ever since the Cowboys game. He's looked like the old Derrick Henry, and he's like 31, and he's still dominating on this level. Derrick Henry and his longevity, you got to praise it. You just got to say, damn, he's a freak of nature. We don't normally see things like this. And
Yeah.
he's a closer. He's a closer for them. When the game gets tight, just go to I formation and give it to Derrick Henry because the defense going to get tired. They're going to get gashed, and Derrick Henry, he's just going to push everybody to the side. And I know one thing: you don't want your corner trying to tackle Derrick Henry because he's going to do what he did to Josh Norman and Earl Thomas. He's going to push them out the way, and he's going to end their careers like he did with those
Mm.
two. And so, yeah, the Ravens, they were just phenomenal from all facets, special teams to offense to defense. It was just no way for the Bills to win. And it didn't shock me at all. I picked them to win. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up some stats from that game. Final score was 35-10. Pretty disappointing if you were a Josh Allen better or fantasy owner. James Cook, he ain't did nothing out there. Wasn't the greatest game by the Bills standards at all. It just seemed like everything they tried to do, the Ravens boxed it up, and they couldn't get the run game going at all. 3.5 yards a carry as a team. Not going to beat the Ravens, I'll tell you that much. And even in the passing game, they really couldn't get much going either. The Ravens was clamping everything up, and it was impressive to see. But yeah, man, it was just dominant performance on the Ravens, and we kind of called it in the sense that it was like this just seems like one of them games, where it's just like people, the public is probably on the Bills, but I'm like, nah, the Ravens they probably won't get them on this one because the Ravens seems like something might have clicked for them recently. So yeah, man, it is what it is. Lamar Jackson things, he had rushing touchdown, 2 passing touchdowns, heck of a performance. And even though he didn't throw for a million yards or anything, but he did enough to win the game. He only had 5 incompletions. Can't ask him much.
Yeah.
That's how you play. That's how you win in this league. Lean on your running game, take advantage of passing opportunities, and play some defense. I mean, that's the winning formula. So, got to salute to the Ravens.
It seems like in this day and age, the whole thing about passing yards, we have to start to not say ignore, but not take too significant of degree because of again the too high safety, the cover two and everything. It seems like it's really affecting the offense. So I'm looking at like completion percentage, I'm looking at touchdown passes, I'm looking at passer rating, and Lamar Jackson, he checks the bill. Everything you need and when it comes to a QB performance being great, that's what he did. And he showed that he's not just great at running the ball, but he's a phenomenal pocket passer, and he's really developed over the years, and that's why he is a 2-time MVP. I want to go to the other team just real quick. The Bengals, they finally got their win. I went on a limb. I picked the Panthers. Me, I was just
Mm.
trying to, ruffle some feathers. I was trying to go on off a limb, but I was wrong. I will say that the Panthers offense still looked pretty solid, albeit they did lose to the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals offense was tremendous that game, and Joe Burrow, he was really good that game. Jamar Chase, he had another phenomenal game against a very, very bad team. I need to see him do it against the elite teams with the elite corners, but all in all, he still had a really good game. And Zach Moss and Chase Brown, they did their thing. The running game was really a bright spot for them. So Bengals finally got in the winning column. I don't know if this will be a recipe of success they can go on to for the next, 10 weeks. But hey, a win is a win, even against the Panthers. So that's all I can really say on that matter.
I want to say something about a team in the NFC. Saints fans, Saints fans, Saints fans. Y'all thought it was y'all year. Y'all was parading the streets after blowing out my Cowboys. Now look at you. You're on a 2-game lose streak. Derek Carr's looking like Derek Carr again, and you lost to a Atlanta Falcons team that scored 26 points. But guess what? They had no offensive touchdowns. You lost to a team with no offensive touchdowns. This is what I'm saying. The first 2 weeks of football, you can't really speculate on everything with that small sample size. So glad y'all thought it
Mm.
was. Glad y'all had y'all fun, but now it's back to mediocrity. Could y'all get better in this later? See, absolutely. You still have Alvin. You still have a good scheme. You still have Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, and those guys. But I'm glad to see them humbled after them taking victory laps after beating my sorry defense Cowboys and the freaking Panthers with Bryce Young.
Back to reality.
Yep.
That's really what
You
it
know,
is.
I think there's a team in the AFC I wanted to get on too. Let me think.
What is it? The
No,
Jets?
no team in the AFC. No. But I
Oh,
did
no
want to
team in
say,
the
hey, the Browns. Oh my goodness.
doo-doo
I feel
garbage.
I feel sorry for Browns fans out there because you look at the Raiders, they didn't have Max Crosby, didn't have Devontae Adams, and you still couldn't get a win. It was that was something else. That was just wow. I was seeing the games on Red Zone and stuff to come. I'm like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm like, y'all are struggling against the Max Crosby-less Raiders. I, I don't even know what to say. That's just pathetic. Like, what
Yeah.
y'all got to do something about Deshaun Watson
They should have
because
kept Joe Flacco.
at this point, I mean, Deshaun Watson he ain't play like I mean, from a completion standpoint, he ain't play horrible, but he ain't really do much to really win the game. A bunch of checkdowns, 5.5 average on completion. I mean, what are you a backup QB or something? Like, come on now. They're paying you all this money. You say you got a 5.5 yards per completion? Are you kidding me? No, that's unacceptable. And the passing game
Yeah.
was bad. They did have one play that got called back due to a hold that would have probably won them the
Won
game.
them the
But
game. Yeah.
yeah, man.
Offensive
But
line wasn't good that game either. I gotta say
yeah,
the offensive line was not good.
yeah, they need. Oh, there was another AFC team I wanted to comment on. The Jags lost again, obviously, but
Oh man.
I don't really want to stay too long. It's kind of like beating a dead horse at this point. At this point, Doug Peterson and them should probably just be fired. It's over. You had a golden opportunity to beat the Texans. You got to the goal line. Well, not goal line. You got to like in the red zone after a
Yeah,
huge run.
they pretty much did
Yeah,
get the goal line.
yeah, and then you couldn't get it done, and then the defense gets cooked for the game for the Texans to come back and win. But I wanted to bring up something about the Texans, and this may seem a little controversial, but if you're not paying attention to what's going on, uh, Bobby Slowick, you might be on fraud watch, buddy, because the what I'm seeing from that offense with all these weapons it shouldn't be so difficult. It really shouldn't. I'm seeing so many runs on first down that's going nowhere. Texas fans are starting to turn on him. It's saying that he's being too conservative. He's not aggressive enough in the passing game and everything. And if you watch the Texas, it's like you can see it because it seems like the offense is being held back by something. I know the offensive line is kind of underperforming considering all the talent they have on there, but at the end of the day, you have C.J. Stroud, you have Nico Collins, you have Stephon Diggs, you had No Tank Dell, but I mean, you have two borderline. You have a number one and a borderline number one. And I know you're missing Joe Mixon, but I mean Cam Akers, he's decent, I guess. Y'all had so I don't know. I think this Texans offense is underperforming, especially against like the Jaguars, who was getting dotted up by freaking Deshaun Watson. So I'm just like, come on, we got to do better, Bobby Slow. You got to take the training wheels off. I don't know what type of offense you calling here, but it needs to be better.
Let it
Because at this point,
fly.
you throwing away your head coaching opportunities with this offensive performance.
Yeah, I agree. You gotta
God
let it
forbid you
fly,
don't have
man.
a C.J. Stroud or
CJ
Nico
Stroud and
Collins to
him.
bail you out.
CJ Stroud and Nico Collins and him. They got to scheme something up a lot better. Get these boys open. Can't just be relying on they're more talented than you. No, you got to do your job. You got to help them out a little bit. Help scheme some stuff open because right now
Hmm.
the way it's looking, they're underachieving with all that talent. I I want to go back to the Jaguars real quick. I know we're kicking them while they're down, but listen, we gotta be honest about this, man. Like, first of all, the clip of Doug Peterson where the guy was asking him a question about his job security, absolutely hilarious, is meme worthy. That was a good clip. Absolutely hilarious. Something off of a skit. That was how funny it was. But I did hear a report from Jordan Schultz. He's a reporter from Fox Sports, I believe he is, and he talked about the locker room for the Jaguars and how players are done with Doug Peterson. They are completely done. The locker room has checked out, and I'm not surprised because it shows itself on the football field. Trevor Lawrence, he is just frustrated. He is pretty much broken. The fact that they continuously allow Press Taylor to have a job with this organization is downright malpractice and is a fireable offense. I don't know who they play this week, but they're probably going to lose. They're 0-4. They're one of the worst teams in NFL, and they have broken their number one overall pick quarterback that they paid all that money to. It's such a tragedy. It really is. But I'm
The
not sad about
Jags, they play the Colts.
it.
If
See,
they lose
if
this game,
Anthony
people got to get fired. People
if
have to get
Anthony
fired.
Richardson was the quarterback, I'd be like, oh, that's a good. You know what? They could win that game.
I
Joe
think he will
Flacco was the
play.
quarterback. Oh, he
They said
is.
he's not supposed to. He's not slated to like miss any time or something like
Ooh, if I'm Shane Steichen, I'm like, hey, you know what, Anthony Richardson, let's be
that.
cautious. I know you. Hey, let's be cautious. Let's let you sit out one more game. Let's let Joe Flacco get in the game because hey, we don't want to really we don't want to make it worse for you. Let's be cautious. But yeah, man, if they don't win this game, it's a wrap. It is over. It is time to blow it up. It is time to start over because this is just awful. I didn't see this from the Jaguars. I knew Press Taylor was a fraud. Well, I'm not even gonna say a fraud because he was never good in the first place. But I knew he was bad. But damn, I ain't know like this. I thought, hey, it's another year in the system, same system. Maybe you got some personnel, you got some guys that can separate. Hey, maybe this can change some things. Nope, hasn't changed nothing. And Doug Peterson not taking the keys back and being the play caller is the reason why he's going to get fired. Yeah, I want to transition real quick. Let's go to let's see what we got. The Lions we already talked briefly about it. I lost money. I want to talk about Geno Smith and the Lions. Here's my thing. This was a good week for offenses. Finally, we get some points scored. Because the first 3 weeks of the season, it has been atrocious. I tweeted on my Twitter at my X account that please can we get something similar to Alabama versus Georgia game in terms of offense. Finally, we got something. And the Seahawks and the Lions game, although the Seahawks, they were down for the majority of the game. They were down by double digits a lot of the game. They were still putting up points. Geno Smith was just downright phenomenal. Like, I'm looking at these two QBs. I'm like, Jared Goff and Geno Smith are throwing dimes like that. Who would have thought? These two QBs, they were left for dead at one point. Their former organizations, they were counting them out and they didn't write back. And now the two QBs for that game, you could say they had the two best performances of week 4, like that, besides maybe Jaden Daniels. But man, the just the game itself was just so entertaining. I was so happy seeing a game of that magnitude where it was a lot of points scored, it was a lot of passes being thrown. Geno Smith had 56 passing attempts. I'm like, man, and he's actually completing like 67% of them. I'm like, oh my God, we're back. We're finally back. Got receivers are getting schemed open. and they're catching passes. DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Tyler Lockett. Oh my God. And then we look at the Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown catching passes. Sam Laporta catching passes. Jameson Williams catching passes. The running game is getting going with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. I'm like, oh, and how could I forget Kenneth Walker? I'm like, where has this offense been for the past 3 weeks? This is what I missed about the NFL. This is what made the NFL king for so many years, and why I always say, no matter what, the NFL is way better than college football. Is because of these games right here. And Geno Smith, I might have to put him in my top 10. He's that good.
I mean, it'd be fair. He's playing really good this year.
I might have to put him in my top 10.
Unfortunately, the Seahawks defense was getting torched. So I mean,
I was so mad about that.
As a Seahawks defense owner, they almost gave me a heart attack. I was about to drop out of the top 6 with that disaster class. But yeah, man, I believe I picked the Seahawks to win.
I picked them to win, unfortunately. But you know,
I was glad to see a good game, though. Yeah, I was glad to see an entertaining game. So I wasn't too mad about it. But yeah, man, it was good offense. Speaking of the offensive thing, 8 of the teams that won yesterday, they scored. 8 of the teams that won this week, they scored over 30 points. So that is an encouraging sign going forward into the season. Getting more offensive. And one of those teams was the Titans of all teams. Scored 31 points. That game was a garbage fest. I'm so glad it was a doubleheader, because my Lord, if we had to suffer through that, I would have called it a night. That was just a shocking display. But yeah, man, salute to the Lions. I thought Mac McDonald was going to be able to scheme some stuff up and really make it difficult for Jared Goff, but it seemed like he got everything he wanted all night. So salute. He had a perfect game. He did take that safety at the end of the game because he didn't want to mess up his completion percentage, but I'm gonna let it slide. I'll let it slide.
He damn near had a perfect game. I mean, if you have to rate it from a scale of 1 to 10, he had like a 9.9 out of 10. Besides that safety, he was that locked in for the most part. Let's see what we got. The Jets. Again. What is going on? So Bo Nix, I think he threw for like 63 yards and they still lost. How do you lose to the Broncos? Their defense is good. I'm a bit shocked how good they are, but come on, man. Like, you cannot lose to them. Like, bruh. It's just, and then the coach in the press conference talking about we got to dial down the cadence. Like, come on, man. Like, this is Aaron Rodgers we talking about. Aaron freaking Rodgers. You cannot do that. That is his identity. That's what he does. He relies on the cadence. That's how he draws off sides. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. For him to say that, it just speaks to the weak mentality, not holding players accountable. You got to hold the players accountable. That Hard Knocks was fooling people about Robert Saleh. All that television stuff looks pretty, but when the cameras are off, that's when we see the real Robert Saleh, and we see the real Robert Saleh. He ain't holding dudes accountable. He is not living up to his word and where he came from, which is the 49ers. He just I ain't feeling Robert Saleh, man. I ain't feeling. The defense is great. The defense has always been great.
Yeah.
But you the head coach. You got to hold everybody accountable. And right now, they're just not doing that. You can't just be a guy that says, hey, we'll let Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett worry about the offense. Like, no, you're the head coach. You have to be the CEO. You have to worry about everything. It can't just be the defensive end. Like, you gotta go to offense and say, hey, like, yo, get this cadence stuff together. Hey, Nathaniel Hackett.
And get your playmakers the freaking ball.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, you got to do a better job of giving them the ball.
Like, why wasn't Breece Hall used in the passing game? Like, what are we doing? I mean, he had 2 catches for 14 yards. Where are the screens? Where are the short little routes? Breece Hall is one of the best receiving backs in the league. What is going on here? Garrett Wilson is a freaking dog. And, like, He's not being utilized.
No, he's not.
Like
They could
Jack
utilize
Conklin
his
had 8
speed.
targets last game. What are we talking about?
Nah, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. I wanna,
Like, why is
I
Allen
want.
Lazard out producing your number one receiver? It literally blows my mind. Mike Williams, who the Chargers left for dead, is out producing your number one guy. It doesn't make sense. Granted, Garrett Slate has had a rough slate of cornerback matchups. He's had to be guarded by Gonzalez, um, Pat Surtain,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, you get that right.
who they play? I know that they
Who
played the Browns in it, so he was getting guarded by
they
Denzel
played?
Ward.
They played the 49ers as well.
Oh yeah,
So
no, they played the Titans. Legarius Sneed.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
they played the 49ers too.
They, they
So
did. Yeah, they
Travarius
played.
Ward, not Denzel, Travarius Ward. So those are some pretty rough matchups. But like we said, at the end of the day, you gotta scheme your guys open.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson can play all over the field. You want to see? You better make these corners travel to the slot.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
Yeah.
hey, I mean, the thing you Hackett, I don't know. I don't know why he was even brought back. Probably Aaron Rodgers vouched for him. But at this point, as the GM and the owner team, you gotta, man, forget that. This dude stinks. We getting him up out of here.
Yeah. Really. Or figure it
I
out
know y'all
somehow.
probably wanted to go, let's see what he looks like with Aaron Rodgers.
He
No,
stinks. He stinks. He
no,
stinks bad.
there's a reason why him and Mike McCarthy and them got kicked out for Mike LaFleur. I mean Matt LaFleur.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I wanna so look, so the Bears, I picked the Rams to win that game. I want to talk about Caleb Williams. You know, this Bears offense has been the it's been criticized a lot, and it still is pretty bad. But I want to give just a shout out to Caleb Williams. He had his best game by far. He was phenomenal. I saw the game. I was watching the game. He was throwing dimes. I think he threw this one. It was this one pass to Cole Kmet. In between the numbers in zone coverage. It was just a tight window throw. I was just like, damn, that's why you draft Caleb Williams, number one. And then the throw to DJ Moore in the end zone, like
Yeah,
only
that
to
was
where
great.
DJ Moore can catch it. Just a phenomenal throw. Like he's getting better every single week. It's just unfortunate that he has a terrible play caller that's holding him back, because if he had any other good play caller, Caleb Williams would be in the same boat as Jaden Daniels when it comes to rookie of the year consideration, because he has the talent. I see it. It's just it's hard for it to blossom because he's being held back. And that's just the way that it is. I'm just glad that he played well, and he's getting better every single week. He's identifying the defense and he's making the right reads, and he's putting the ball where only his receivers can catch the ball. And that's what you're supposed to do as a quarterback.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Isn't it ironic that he has one of his better looking games when the run game is actually good?
Mm,
Who would have thought?
mm,
DeAndre Swift had a great game, 5.8 yards per carry. He was active in the pass game as well. He heard the people down him. He saw the clips on Twitter and said, "Oh no," he said, "I ain't no bum now. Let's relax here." I'm glad we got to see that DJ Moore connection in the red zone for a touchdown, because that's what you really want to see. You want to see your number one receiver and your young QB really build that continuity and that connection together, so we can really start playing some buddy ball here. Hopefully, Shane Waldron sees that and decides, "Hey, let's get more. Let's really go forward. Like let's take off the training wheels." And I think I'm pretty sure you saw the reports before this game. A few of the offensive guys went to Shane Waldron like, "Hey, stop being a punk and call the offense aggressively, because we
mhm.
tired of this training wheel. Let us off the leash." And as you can
Right.
see, you saw the offense look this past week. I know the Rams dealing with injuries and stuff, but Matthew Stafford is still Matthew Stafford. They still had to go band for band with Matt Stafford and Sean McVay. So I mean, hey, he got the job done. So salute.
Yeah, salute to them. Let's go. I want to say let's see what we got here. I think we can go to the last game. I want to go to the Chiefs versus Chargers game. Like the Chiefs just keep getting away with it. They keep having a subpar offensive game, but the other team just doesn't know how to capitalize off of that. And the Chargers lost.
Greg
They
Roman.
they were pretty bad. The run game wasn't really able to get a whole lot. The offense, the passing game wasn't able to get a whole lot. I was kind of bummed out because I started the Chiefs defense and I'm thinking, okay, Herbert dealing with the injury. They don't have the best weapons. They should get a turnover, and they weren't able to get a turnover. They weren't able to generate a whole lot of pressure, but they only gave up 10 points. That's the thing about fantasy, bro. Like, your defense could give up only 10 points, and you're still not able to get a whole lot of points off of it. And that's just the frustrating part of fantasy. But back to reality. Oh man, Justin Herbert. See, this is what happens when you have Greg Roman as your offensive coordinator, and you have subpar wide receiver play. They got exposed. They couldn't live off of J.K. Dobbins forever. That was a nice story for the first 2 weeks, but now we're back to reality. See that those first 2 weeks, the Saints looked unstoppable. The Chargers offense, oh my God, J.K. Dobbins was running wild. I was like, this is baloney. Justin Herbert is the man. Like, Justin Herbert's just gonna be a game manager. Like, get out of here. And you were in the group chat talking about, oh, Justin Herbert, he might have entered top 3 convo. I'm like, in what world? Top 3 game manager combo? Like, Justin Herbert, he's a phenomenal QB. I have in my top 5, but let's not give him credit for doing the bare minimum. Like, look at his stats. It is game manager-esque. We criticize Brock Purdy about, oh, he's a scheme merchant. Oh, Kyle Shanahan. Oh, he be holding his hand. You know what I'm saying? But Justin Herbert, bruh, like, I know some of it is out of control. I understand that, but man, I just gotta say, like, dude is game managing the hell out of this offense, and a lot of it is just the offense is not that good. Like, they don't have a whole lot of talent, and Greg Roman he's a war criminal, and Jim Harbaugh hiring Greg Roman as the offensive coordinator. What are you doing?
That is malpractice.
what are you doing? And then I like Joe Alt. Like, Joe Alt that was a phenomenal pick. But bro, we need receivers. And Lab McConkey is not going to do it. I'm sorry. Like, Quentin Johnston is not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. And for them to think that they can win games and they can score points with one of the worst receiving cores in the NFL, you're delusional. It doesn't matter how great Justin Herbert is. He needs weapons, and they don't have it. And all these people like, oh, Quentin Johnson, man, he looks so good. A busted coverage. He's wide open for the end zone. Of course he's gonna look good. It's the team didn't cover him. All he did was run straight and get to the end zone. Congratulations. Nobody was covering you because you're not good. Nobody thinks you're good. We're not paying attention to you. So for people to giving Quentin Johnson praise because he ran a streak with nobody covering him, oh my God, like, just throw a party for him. You know, like, all this stuff was just funny. I'm glad we could finally get to the real football. Like, all the pretenders, all this fake nonsense, the first 2 weeks, the Saints and the Chargers and all of this stuff, we could finally get back to reality. All those people that were acting like they were good, now we see their flaws. The Chargers have a good defense, but that offense is doo-doo. Justin Herbert needs help, and Jim Harbaugh and the GM, the fact that they only drafted Lab McConkey and thought that this was going to be enough to compete, just ain't going to cut it. And the Chiefs were able to scrape by. And I want to say this about the Chiefs. I'm getting frustrated. First of all, Patrick Mahomes. I've never seen this before. I've never seen a star quarterback be the reason why their star receiver is potentially going to be out for the remainder of the year. Karma is a bitch. I will say that karma is a bitch. I'm not gonna get to the
You know what's crazy?
legal. Yeah, what are you gonna say?
They saying he might have avoided a full ACL tear, so he might
I
not
saw
even
that.
be gone for the year.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw
I
that.
said,
But they
"Wow,
still need a
the devil
receiver.
magic is at it again."
They still need a receiver though. They still need somebody in. Hopefully
Oh
they
yeah, they
they
need
uh
somebody.
trade for my boy Amari Cooper. I would love for them to trade for Amari Cooper or DeAndre Hopkins, either or. I think Amari Cooper will probably be a lot better. But yeah, the Chiefs offense is egregious. They are a shell of themselves. Patrick Mahomes finally threw a 50-yard bomb. I haven't seen that since like 2021. It's been that long. I'm like, damn. Oh yeah, Patrick Mahomes does have a cannon. Oh yeah, Patrick Mahomes can throw a 50-yard pass to Xavier Worthy, but this offense is just not good, man. Like, there's nothing to hang your hat on. They got away with it in 2022. I remember in 2022, I'm looking at this offense. I'm like, Juju Smith-Schuster, um, Marquez Valdez Scantling. They got running backs, a running back committee of this is when Isaiah Pacheco, I think he was a rookie, and they had Jerk McKinnon and another running back. Oh, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm like, how
Yeah,
the hell? How are they the number one offense in the NFL with these pieces? It makes no sense. Now it's finally catching up to them. Now all that money they paying Mahomes and Travis Kelce and that offensive line and the defense is finally catching up to them. But they're still 4-0. They're still 4-0. It's like, what?
crazy.
And the defense is not even dominating. Like, they're just being smart. They're not beating themselves. That's all they're doing. Like, it's not like the defense is, oh, here's an interception, like a clutch interception, or oh, they got like 7 sacks and a fumble recovery. Oh, a block punt. Like, they're not even doing none of that. It's just, okay, we're just gonna get a stop at the right moment. We're going to prevent them from scoring. We're going to make them kick a field goal. It's like simple stuff. They're not even turning the ball over again to sack or anything. They're just not beating themselves. That's just what they are.
Can't really ask for too much though, because it's just complimentary football. Travis Kelce did get more involved this game. He had 89 yards and 7 catches. I know the fantasy owners been like, finally, he did
Mm-hmm.
something. Because
Mm-hmm.
if he ain't step up this game, then he might have been really cooked food, because they got me running routes out there at this point. But yeah, man, it's just the Chiefs. They just find ways to win it. It's not pretty, but they get it done. And at the end of the day, when win law at the end of the day, it's
When the
about
dust
wins and
settles,
losses. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But I'll say this though. They better do something. They better change stuff up because eventually it's going to come back to bite them. Mahomes is great, but even the greatest, even the greatest, Tom Brady, for example, even him, he wasn't able to overcome at the end. When they went to the playoffs against the Titans, I believe it was, they lost. Tom Brady lost. It's going to happen. They need to figure something out because there's no way in hell that they can go into the postseason looking this way and expect to win another Super Bowl. I know we had these same sort of question marks last year, but this looks different. Like, Patrick Mahomes is turning the ball over at just an abnormal rate that I've never seen Patrick Mahomes do. This is different from last year. Like, Patrick Mahomes was still protecting the football. This year, he's not doing that. So if they continue to look like this, they're not gonna go back to no Super Bowl. They're gonna lose to somebody. And whoever
mm,
that is, they're gonna take advantage of it. So they better not play with their food because eventually those bad tendencies are gonna come back to hurt them. Um
yeah.
I want to get to the segment of it all, the segment of the week. Brian, who you want to salute?
Oh man, so we got 3 entries this week. We got 3 entries, and first I want to start it off with. For the second week in a row, my salute of the week goes to Derrick Henry. Had almost 200 rushing yards, just 1 yard short of 100 rushing yards. He had, I believe, 2 touchdowns. I believe. Let me check just to make sure. Yep. No, he had two. Wait, what? Yeah, two touchdowns. One in the air, one on the ground, and that was a phenomenal vintage Derrick Henry performance. And of course, it came against the Bills, where that famous clip of him stiff arming Josh Norman into the shadow realm came from. And second on the list, I'm going to go with the division rival, Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels came into Arizona, and part of that Cardinals defense like the Red Sea, and it was just a great performance. You know, he was doing everything you needed him to do. The offense is clicking. 42 points. When was the last time we seen the Commanders put up 42 points or even 40 or 30 plus points back to back weeks? I can't remember. So salute to Jaden Daniels. You know, helping get him in that Terry McLaurin connection really paying off. Got 18 points for me in fantasy. Salute. And for last but not least, we're going special teams for this salute of the week. We are going the Atlanta Falcons. Young Wei Koo. I know people want to call him Young Ho Koo. No, it's Young Wei, because you want to know why? He led the way for the Atlanta Falcons to get this W against the divisional rival against the Saints when it was looking hairy. He kicked that ball from, was it a 60-yard field goal?
Something like
I can't
that.
remember, but it was the longest of his career.
Good.
And he got it done. You account for all them points. I know he had more points than most people in fantasy this week. So I'm gonna go with Young Wei Koo for the final salute, kicker edition.
I like it. I like it a lot. Just looking at the field goal. Yeah, it's 58-yarder.
Yeah, 50
in the clutch.
In the clutch.
2 seconds remaining.
Yeah,
he is
sent them boys home.
Sent the Saints home, man. That'll do it for another edition of Salute. I want to go to the final topic. We're going to give our prediction for Thursday night football. It is the Falcons versus Buccaneers. Falcons are at home. Buccaneers are away. This one is very interesting, but I know you're supposed to go with the home team generally, but I like the Buccaneers. I like how they're moving. I like how they've been playing. We predicted the Buccaneers as the best team in the division. They're going to finish with the best record. I don't see how they don't win this game, even on the road. I like the Buccaneers this game. I might change my pick depending on the injury report. I got to look at the injury report, but just going off for right now, I'm going to go with the Buccaneers in a close one.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to see why people would want to go with the Buccaneers. The Falcons only favored about 1.5 points, and at home when you get 3 points, that's a little not very great. The Buccaneers came off a dominant win against the Eagles, who's supposed to be one of the tougher teams in the NFC. The Falcons scraped by against the Saints, didn't score any touchdowns. Let me tell you what, you don't score any touchdowns against this team, you ain't winning. I'll tell you that much. And if you don't get Bijan Robinson involved, you're not winning. So y'all gonna have Raheem Morrison company. Y'all got to figure something out, because right now this offense is looking very Arthur Smith-esque. Yeah.
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts. Oh my goodness, this is going to go down as one of the worst top 5 picks ever at this rate, because he's done as much as I have, and I'm watching the games on the couch. I mean, good Lord. But yeah, man, the Buccaneers, they got the hotter hand, in my opinion. And it's a divisional game. Hopefully they will break the Thursday night garbage fest curse, and we get a good game, a good high scoring game. So I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers. Man.
Yeah, I might put money on this game too. You never know.
I'm gonna go with my dog Baker.
How it looks.
I'm starting them over Mahomes too, daggone it. I'm sick and tired of Pat. You ain't about to keep putting up 13, 14 points on my team until you won't earn a start. You out of here, buddy.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, that'll do it for another edition of the Courtside View Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell, follow the socials as well. And we will see you all on the next episode of the Courtside View Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.
And shout out to y'all that's rocking with us on TikTok. We going a little crazy over there. Going a little crazy
Just
over
make
there.
sure to
Just a
hit the
little
follow
bit.
button. Just make sure to hit
Yeah.
the follow button. And thank you for the support. Appreciate it. All right. Peace. All right.